So, first of all, disclaimer, I am not going to try to talk about what I think love is. And I know that you might be feeling bamboozled right now. I understand. But I don't think I'm qualified enough to say what love is. Okay? However, I do have some thoughts on how we perceive different types of love and what maybe we can do about it. So here we have, and let me know if you can't see something. So here we have, let's say, you, yeah, a person, and let's say this person is me. What do I love? Well, I love my mom. I also love, say, Harry Potter. Now that's a copyright strike right there. What else do I love? Well, I love Marvel movies. Yeah, I love ice cream. Also love
Hello, I don't
how
know.
would we how do I draw? How do I draw a romantic? Okay, so let's say I also love my partner, and I'm just going to draw a condom here for convenience sake. I can love other things. For example, I can love my country. Yeah, I'm very proud of this flag, especially because you can clearly see the white on white being done here. And yeah, feel free to type in the now we're upgraded. Okay, so when you type in the politics discussion, I can see it and respond to it while I'm streaming. So while I'm drawing this, I used to only see what I draw here, but now I can also see what you're typing. So we can sort of have a discussion, and then hopefully later we can also like discuss via voice. But first I want to draw something. Okay? Now, we could say that we love all of these things. Yeah? We love the media that we take in. We love the. Sorry, Succubus, I had to mute you on my part. We can say we love our country. We can say we love certain people in our lives. Okay? And without discussion, these are different types of relationships that we have towards these things. So you might have a different relationship with your mom and with your sexual partner. The love discussion, yeah. But we also have a relationship with a movie franchise, or with I don't know, if we're feeling patriotic, we can have a relationship with the place we were born. And rather than trying to fit these into boxes and saying, okay, this is family love, and this right here, this is sexual love, and then trying to force my world into these boxes, I would prefer to see what these things have in common. And I found one specific thing. So if, okay, before, yeah, I almost forgot. So there's this photo. I don't know if you know what this is. I assume most of you don't. It's not a very well-known photo, but I would definitely not say that I particularly love this photograph here. Okay, but we'll come to this later. I just wanted to show you this photo. It's a nice photo. Now, I think when somebody hurts your mom, or when you see that your country is being criticized, or when somebody says that Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter, all of these things you can feel as if they're affecting you because they're affecting something that you love to one extent or the other. Yeah? And in a way, you feel the hurt that these things take. So in a way, you could say that, whoops. So in a way, we could say that what you identify as yourself is extended uh, towards these things. One moment. Photoshop is. It's not Photoshop, it's me. I don't know if I'm being clear enough here, but let's say we, as what we consider us to be, can symbolically be sort of spread around. We can make a circle around everything we love, and therefore extend our empathy and our identification with. So when somebody asks you, what are you? You might say that, I don't know, I'm a good boyfriend, or I'm a family man, or I'm a Serb, or I'm a Harry Potter fan. So to an extent, we do extend our identity towards these things that we love. All right. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, now we don't maybe need the boxes to differentiate what is what family love is, what friend love is. I don't know how to draw a friend. Let's see, friend here. Okay, so and what partner love is for now. We can try to avoid that and just see how our identity behaves regarding these things. The more franchises you love, the more people you meet, and the more people you care for, the more you extend this identity, and the more things you can say you love about the world. Okay, are you with me so far? I don't see many typey in the politics discussion. Okay, I'm just going to assume that I'm making sense here. So, how do we get here? How do we get to loving these many things? I want to go back to this photo. So, at first, I did really not have strong emotions towards this photo. But then I started learning this is actually a photograph by Martin Parr. It's a British photographer, and I have here uh, uh, a book of photographs from one of his works. It's called The Last Resort, and it's about a resort near the seaside where people, mostly middle class British people, would go and spend their time. And a lot of his photos, when you go through them, they're just ugly. Like when you look at here, it's so saturated and it's all just falling apart. And oftentimes, I was confused looking at these. Like, why would I consider this appealing? I wouldn't say I loved these photos, but then I started learning about why he does this. So he oversaturates his photos. He uses flash where he shouldn't, or well, where he needn't use flash, and he shows the ugly in scenes which would otherwise be could be more aesthetically pleasing. So, for example, here, look at this. This is an amusement park, and nobody's being amused. Like this woman looks sort of jaded. The baby is not very enthusiastic. The colors are all like just a mess here as well. And when you actually go through the album, you have these two as if they're gonna collide. And so the more you go through these, the more you get a sense for what Martin Parr was trying to do. He was basically trying to. There's a problem with the stream. I lowered the quality to 15 frames per second and only 480. 480. It doesn't. Wait. Oh, okay. I know what the issue is. Yeah. So I changed Windows and then it didn't show Discord. I'm still getting the hang of Discord. So okay, for those of you who didn't see, so we have some of Martin's photos, and it's the same author of the photo I showed you before. So as you start learning about what he does, you can start seeing a pattern of and his message through these photos, basically. So they're ugly, but they're supposed to be ugly. Like this. This is a picture at a resort, and the people here are almost miserable. You can see them being like trying to have a nice time, trying to either dress fancy or do something enjoyable, and there's just a lot of them. There's trash everywhere. It's just chaos, and that's mostly what he was trying to show. And after learning this, I started to see these photos with a different, sort of a different lens. I started appreciating the trash that he shows, the way he positions his photos, the way he captures the ugliness to show us the ugliness. Let me see if I got this right. So when we go back to this initial photo, okay, let me know if you can see the initial photo. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Okay, so this photo I don't particularly find well done, but if you connect it with Martin Parr's regular sort of theme that he does, you can see it as criticism of consumerism, or you can see it as a sort of sympathy or maybe feeling for middle class British people who are just trying to make the best out of their miserable lives. And if you look real close at this photo, this is I think it's a football match or a sports match, and this is a Morton fan. So the Morton is a sports club. I don't exactly know which one, but when you zoom in on his scarf, the scarf is creased, so it says moron. And when you connect this with like, I'm not sure if Martin Parr did this deliberately. Like if he knew that this was if he saw this little detail and then decided, yeah, okay, this is a messaging I want to get out there. And he was criticized for maybe punching down on the middle class British people who are just doing their best and end up being like just masses. But anyway, what's the point of this? What's the point of all of this? After learning all of this, after reading on Martin Parr, after seeing a lot of his work, I have to say that I now find this picture a lot more interesting. I think I start developing feelings for this picture and for Martin Parr in general and for his work. So I start liking something I didn't like before. Why? Because I can now connect with this. I understand the meaning behind this. So I think, how does this connect to love? When you spread your identity, yeah, uh, to different throughout the world, and when you connect with things, be it a franchise, type of food, uh, family member, a country, a sports club, whatever, you are sort of connecting with the world. And how we connect with the world is through understanding it. So if we had, how would we put this? So we have understanding, and then what comes from this understanding is widening, actually a widening of identity in a way. At first you might be a nationalist, you might be a racist, you might be just a bigot all around. And then you go out into the world, you start meeting people who are nice, who you didn't connect with before, who you just thought you had to hate. And then you start being friends with them. As you start being friends with them, you widen your identity, so you no longer just connect with the people in your immediate surrounding. And so on. I believe this is the path of love in a way. So you widen your identity so that you could empathize with the whole world.